This video is about Kaguya reveals secret but demon follows. If this myth excites you, please like the video, share it with friends, and write in the comments how it pulled you into the adventure. Kaguya reveals secret but demon follows. In the land of Celestia, where the dawn kisses the horizon with hues of gold and crimson, lived Kaguya, the moon princess, known for her beauty and wisdom. Her silken robes flowed like liquid silver, and her radiant hair glimmered like starlight. Kaguya was revered by mortals and gods alike, but her heart carried a secret of prophecy that could shatter the fabric of her world. The gods gathered atop the floating mountain of Shinkai, where the veil of destiny shimmered like a protective barrier against the chaos that swelled beneath. Among them stood Hyujin, the dragon god of the sea, with scales that glimmered with the brilliance of 1,000 waves, and Tsukuyomi, the god of the moon, whose gaze could pierce the hearts of men. They sensed a disturbance, a shadow creeping through the realms, heralded by the whispers of fate. Kaguya had summoned them in a moment of desperation. "I have seen the strands of fate entwined with darkness," she declared, her voice trembling like the flicker of a candle. "A demon awakens, a monster forged from the sorrows of the land. It seeks to consume the heart of our world." The gods exchanged worried glances, for they knew that the balance between light and dark teetered on the edge of a dagger. "What must we do, dear sister?" Hyujin asked, the weight of his concern etched into his ancient eyes. Kaguya stepped forward, the air around her shimmering with celestial energy. "To confront this demon, we must seek the lost blade of ether hidden within the enchanted forest. It is the key to sealing away the darkness once more, but I cannot go alone, for the path is fraught with peril." The gods nodded, their spirits igniting with purpose. It was a quest that called for the bravest warriors, those whose hearts burned with honor and determination. Tsukuyomi raised his hand, and from the ether summoned 3 champions of fabled might: Hikari, the radiant warrior; Aiji, the shadow assassin; and Mei, the high sorceress. Hikari, radiant in her glimmering armor, unsheathed her sword, its blade reflecting the hopes of 1,000 souls. "I shall protect you, Princess Kaguya. No demon shall stand against the light of honor," she vowed, her voice a clarion call of courage. Aiji, cloaked in shadows, grinned with mischief but a glint of seriousness in his eyes. "And I shall dance with the darkness. Let it think it can claim the night. We shall show it the error of its ways." Mei, her eyes shimmering with arcane knowledge, added solemnly, "We must not underestimate the demon's cunning. It will seek to divide us, to turn our fears against one another. Stick together, and we may yet prevail." As they embarked on their journey, the air grew thick with foreboding. The enchanted forest loomed ahead, its gnarled trees whispering secrets of ages past. Legends spoke of the forest as a living entity, a guardian of ancient magic, but it was also known to harbor unspeakable horrors. "Stay vigilant," Kaguya warned, her heart pounding like a war drum. "We tread upon sacred ground, and it may not welcome us." As they ventured deeper, the vibrant foliage shifted, colors swirling like a tempest. Sudden shadows darted between the trunks, and eerie laughter echoed a harbinger of the demon's minions. Gnarled creatures, twisted by magic and malice, emerged from the underbrush, their eyes glowing with sinister hunger. "Hikari, take the front," Kaguya commanded, pulling her celestial aura tight around her like an ethereal shield. Hikari rushed forward, her sword blazing with divine light as she clashed with the first beast, a monstrous wolf with fangs that dripped poison. The blade sang as it cleaved through sinewy flesh, and the air crackled with the energy of their battle. Aiji slipped into the shadows, a phantom among phantoms, darting behind the creatures and striking with precision. His daggers sliced through the darkness, felling beasts before they could even glimpse his form. "They'll never know what hit them," he laughed, a dark mouth mingling with the chaos around them. Mei, standing at the center, harnessed the ancient magic of the forest. Her hands flowed with a soft blue light as she summoned arcane barriers to protect her comrades. "We must push through. The heart of the forest lies ahead." She concentrated, weaving spells that trapped the creatures in vines, holding them at bay. Yet, despite their valor, the shadows surged. The beasts were relentless, a tide of malice that threatened to drown the brave warriors. Hikari fell back, panting but unyielding. "We cannot let them overwhelm us, Kaguya. We need your light." Kaguya's heart raced. She could feel the tendrils of darkness reaching for her, pulling at the corners of her mind. "I must not falter," she thought, and with a deep breath she channeled her celestial energy into the air, illuminating the forest in a radiant glow. The shadows recoiled, and the beasts howled, their forms disintegrating in the brilliance of her light. But in that moment of triumph, a dark presence loomed, swelling like a tempest, a figure cloaked in shadows, eyes like molten fire. The demon, birthed from the sorrows of the world, emerged with a sinister smile that sent chills through the bravest hearts. Fools, you think your light can banish me. I am despair, I am the anguish of the lost. The air thickened with dread as his voice echoed through the forest. You will kneel before me, Kaguya, and witness the ruin of all you hold dear. With a wave of his hand, he summoned dark tendrils that snaked toward the heroes, seeking to ensnare them. Stay together, Kaguya shouted, channeling her resolve. Hikari raised her sword high, and its light intensified, cutting through the shadows as if tearing the veil between worlds. Iji moved like a wisp of smoke, darting between tendrils, striking with deadly efficiency. We can let him divide us, they urged, her magic surging as she cast protective wards around her allies. Fight for your hopes, fight for the light. As the battle raged, Kaguya felt the weight of destiny pressing down upon her. She realized that their strength was not merely in their power, but in their unity, their willingness to stand firm against the approaching darkness. We are not just heroes. We are the embodiment of hope. We will not be shackled by despair, she proclaimed, her voice echoing with divine authority. The demon hissed, infuriated by their defiance. Hope is but a flicker in the abyss, I will snuff it out. He unleashed a torrent of darkness that surged like a storm, threatening to consume all. In that moment, the heroes rallied. Hikari's sword blazed brighter, cutting through the tempest with pure light. Iji danced through the shadows, striking with unyielding precision. May channeled the forest's ancient magic, weaving a tapestry of protection around Kaguya, who summoned every ounce of her celestial energy. As the demon lunged, they struck us when a brilliant flash of light and shadow intertwining, illuminating the forest in a blinding radiance that shook the heavens. The ground trembled beneath their feet, and the demon howled in fury, the sound echoing through the valleys of time. With a final surge of power, Kaguya unleashed a beam of light that pierced the heart of the demon, shattering the darkness that had threatened to engulf them. The creature writhed, its form collapsing into nothingness as the forest exhaled, its vibrant colors returning. Yet, even in victory, a shadow lingered, a flicker of darkness that snaked through the remnants of the demon, whispering promises of revenge. Kaguya sensed it, an echo of the battle that had just occurred, and her heart heavy with foreboding. As the forest restored itself, the heroes caught their breath, their bodies trembling from the intensity of the confrontation. We have won this battle, but the war is far from over, Kaguya murmured, her gaze cast toward the horizon. Iji smirked, though he was still catching his breath. Let it come. We'll all face it together, as we did today. We are not just warriors, we are legends. Hikari nodded fiercely, gripping her sword tightly. For honor, for our world, we will stand united against whatever threat lies ahead. May, her brow furrowed in thought, added, but we must uncover the truth of this demon. His origins may hold the key to our future. As they gathered themselves, Kaguya could feel the weight of their journey pressing upon her. We must press on, she urged, determination flooding her heart. The lost blade of ether waits, and with it our destiny. Yet, unbeknownst to them, the darkness had not been vanquished entirely. As they ventured deeper into the enchanted forest, a pair of fiery eyes watched from the shadows, a promise of vengeance lingering. Asterisk, Kaguya reveals secret of a demon follows. Part 2 asterisk. As the warriors pressed deeper into the enchanted forest, the air thickened with a sense of foreboding. A mist curled round their feet, whispering secrets of bygone sorrows, and the ancient trees loomed like sentinels, their gnarled branches reaching out as if to ensnare the unwelcome intruders. The vibrant colors of the forest faded, replaced by a muted palette of shadows and despair. Kaguya led her companions with purpose, her heart aflame with determination. We draw closer to the heart of the forest and the lost blade of ether, she said, her voice steady despite the fear that gnawed at her spirit. But we must tread carefully, the demon's presence lingers still. Iji, ever the mischief maker, smirked in the face of danger. If he wants to play, let him come. Ivy always enjoyed a bit of sport, he quipped, his voice light, but the tension in his body belied his bravado. Hikari, sword in hand, glanced at Iji with a mix of admiration and concern. Your humor will not save us if the demon returns, she admonished, but her tone held a warmth that sought to bolster their spirits. We must remain vigilant. Fear is a weapon of the darkness. May walked beside Kaguya, her brow furrowed with worry. What if the creature isn't the only challenge we face? The forest itself may test us. We must stay united, for the bonds we share are our greatest strength. As if echoing her words, a rustling erupted from the underbrush, and the heroes halted, every muscle tensed. Shadows danced around them, coalescing into grotesque forms. Creatures of the forest, twisted by the demon's influence, emerged from the foliage, skeletal beasts with hollow eyes that glowed with malevolence. Prepare yourselves, Hikari shouted, raising her sword, its blade glimmering like the first light of dawn. The creatures advanced with a guttural growl, a cacophony of snarls and screeches filling the air. "Let us dance, shall we?" IG whispered, melting into the shadows, his form dissolving until he was indistinguishable from the darkness. The first creature lunged at Ikari, but with a swift, graceful motion she parried its blow, the light from her sword slicing through the air like a comet. "Strike true," Kaguya called, channeling her celestial energy. "The darkness will not withstand the light." As Ikari engaged in a dazzling display of combat, she felt the exhilaration of battle, her heart racing with each clash of steel against claw. IG darted through the fray, his dagger shimmering as he struck from unexpected angles, a wraith among the chaos. May stood firm, her hands weaving intricate patterns in the air, summoning vines to ensnare the beasts, binding them with the magic of the forest. But as the tide of battle surged, a low rumble echoed through the ground, a dark laughter reverberating in the air. The demon, watching from the shadows, reveled in their struggle. "Fools, you think you can rid this realm of my influence? I am the despair that dwells in every heart, the nightmare that haunts your dreams." Kaguya felt a chill as his words pierced her resolve. "We are not afraid of you," she shouted defiantly. "Our light will pierce the veil of your darkness." The demoness laughter twisted into a sneer. "Then let me show you true darkness." With a wave of his hand, he conjured a storm of shadows that swirled and thickened, distorting reality itself. The world around them shifted as swelling shadows formed into monstrous shapes, each more grotesque than the last. "Fuck us," May cried, her voice laced with urgency. "Our strength lies in our unity." Hikari and IG fought back to back, their movements in sync as they dispatched the creatures with a fluidity born of trust. Each time one of them faltered, the other was there to cover. Kaguya felt a surge of pride as she watched her companions, their spirits unyielding in the face of overwhelming darkness. "Together," Kaguya cried. "Let our light shine as one." Their hearts synchronized with her call, and in that moment, an ethereal glow enveloped them. Kaguya channeled the cosmic energy of the stars, her aura flaring like a supernova, illuminating the forest with divine brilliance. Hikari's sword blazed with light, and IG's daggers glimmered like shards of a forgotten moon. The shadows recoiled, the laughter of the demon transforming into a howl of rage. "You think you can defeat me? I am eternal, you are but a flicker." With renewed vigor, they surged forward, a wave of light and darkness clashing like thunder. IG struck with agility, slicing through the tendrils of shadow that lashed out at them, while Ikari's sword cleaved the air, each swing cutting down the twisted creatures that came forth. Kaguya felt the energy coursing through her, a connection to the very essence of the cosmos. She raised her arms to the sky, calling upon the stars to guide their path. "Let the light of the ancients protect us," she proclaimed, her voice resonating with the power of the heavens. May, standing rooted in the midst of the chaos, summoned the ancient forces of the forest, rooting herself to the ground. "Nature, hear my call, protect us from this darkness," she shouted, and the earth responded. Vines erupted from the ground, ensnaring the demoness minions and holding them fast. The forest shuddered as the demoness rage fulfilled its promise, and the shadows began to coalesce into a more tangible form, taking on the shape of a colossal beast, a nightmare forged from the very essence of despair. Its eyes burned with an inferno of malice, and its roar shook the leaves from the trees. "Now, face your end," it bellowed, its voice like thunder. "Stand firm," Hikari shouted, her heart pounding as they prepared to face the creature. "We can defeat this demon, together." Kaguya felt the weight of expectation pressing down on her, the threads of destiny entwined with her resolve. "We will not falter," she declared, stepping forward. "A light will pierce through the shadows." With that, the heroes stepped into formation, forming a triangle of light and determination. Kaguya, at the center, raised her hands and summoned a beam of pure celestial energy, the culmination of hope and light that surged through her veins. "Follow me," she urged, and as one, the champions channeled their power into the beam, crafting a spear of light that pierced through the heart of the darkness. The demon snarled and recoiled, its hideous form shifting as it tried to evade the onslaught. But it was too late. The beam struck true, exploding in a brilliant eruption of light that filled the forest, illuminating even the darkest recesses. Shadows dissipated, and the twisted creatures shrieked as the light consumed them. "Hold steady," May shouted, weaving her magic to reinforce Kaguya's power. "We cannot let it escape, drive it back." The demon writhed in agony, its form flickering as light encroached upon it. "You cannot eliminate me, I will return, stronger and hungrier," it roared, a desperate echo of its former might. But Kaguya, fueled by conviction, pressed on. "Then return if you must, but know this. We will always stand in the light against the shadows you bring." With one final burst of energy, the spear of light shattered the demon-esque form completely, scattering its essence into the ether. Forrest sighed as the oppressive weight of despair lifted, the colors returning to life, vibrant and renewed. Yet, in the aftermath of their battle, Kaguya felt a lingering unease. As the mist faded and sunlight broke through the canopy, she sensed the demoness whisper still haunting her. "This is not the end," it hissed, a promise of vengeance that echoed in her thoughts. "Did we truly defeat it?" Hikari asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. "Victory is not without its cost," May replied, her eyes scanning the shadows that lingered at the edges of the forest. "We must remain vigilant. Darkness is patient and will wait for the opportune moment." IG crossed his arms, a grin defiant on his lips. "Let it come. We've proven we can handle whatever it throws at us." Kaguya felt the warmth of their camaraderie surrounding her, a reminder that they were stronger together. "We must press on. The lost blade of ether waits, and with it, the final key to sealing away any remnants of this demon-esque darkness." As they resumed their journey, Kaguya's heart beat in time with the pulse of the forest, each step forward a promise to the world they fought to protect. The shadows might linger, but their light would shine brighter still. But in the depths of the forest, a pair of fiery eyes watched. Asterisk Kaguya reveals secret, but demon follows. Part 3 Asterisk. The path through the enchanted forest twisted like the thoughts of the heroes trudging deeper into its depths. The air still crackled with residual energy from their recent battle, yet a heavy silence fell over the world as they ventured armored, unnerved by the palpable tension lurking just out of sight. Kaguya, her heart thrumming with both fear and determination, led the way, the silvery glow of her oar casting a faint luminescence on the gnarled roots and damp earth. "We must reach the Grove of Whispers," she urged, her voice a soft beacon amidst the shadows. "It is said the lost blade of ether lies there, hidden beneath the ancient tree." Hikari walked beside her, her sword at the ready, its blade reflecting the shimmering light. "What if the demon has left traps to hinder our progress?" she asked, her brow furrowed with concern. "We must be prepared for anything." "True," May interjected, her ethereal presence brimming with arcane awareness. "The forest is alive and may test us even further. We must rely on each other, lest we fall into its snares." IG, over the jesting spirit, flashed a roguish grin. "Then let us give it a show. If it wants to play tricks, we yellow playback. Shadows can be amusing. Don't you think?" His tone was light, but the underlying tension didn't escape him, and Kaguya admired his ability to lighten the mood. But as they navigated through thick foliage and twisted branches, a sudden rustle startled them. The atmosphere shifted, as if the very essence of the forest held its breath. "Did you hear that?" Hikari asked, her grip tight around her sword. Kaguya nodded, sensing the encroaching darkness. "Stay alert." From the underbrush erupted a creature born of shadows and regret, a wretched amalgamation of twisted limbs and glowing eyes that mirrored the malevolence of the demon. With a guttural growl, it lunged toward them, claws glistening with the dark magic of the forest. "Defend yourselves," Kaguya commanded, raising her hands to summon a protective barrier of light. It formed around her companions, shimmering like the dawn breaking upon the horizon. Hikari charged forward, her sword raised high, meeting the creature's advance with radiant fury. "Let us see how it enjoys the taste of light," she cried, swinging her sword with an elegance forged in the fires of battle. The blade met the creature's jaw, slicing through its malice and illuminating the surroundings with an ethereal glow. IG melted into the shadows, his movements a fluid dance as he struck from behind. Let it be known, shadows can bite back. With a swift flick of his wrist, he plunged a dagger into the creature's flank, dark ichor gushing forth like a torrent of despair. May, from her position at the rear, raised her hands, calling upon the ancient energies of the forest. "Nature, hear my plea. Bind this creature and release us from its grasp." Vines erupted from the ground, ensnaring the beast and holding it fast, its howls echoing through the canopy. But even as they fought, Kaguya felt the weight of the demon-esque presence looming, like a storm gathering just beyond the horizon. "We must hurry, the grove awaits," she urged, channeling her energy into a blinding pulse that sent the creature reeling backward, freeing her allies. With swift determination, they pressed onward, forging a path through the forest, the echoes of their battle fading into the gloom. The unity as champions felt stronger with each challenge they faced, but unease crept into Kaguya's heart. As they approached the grove, an ancient tree loomed ahead, its massive trunk gnarled and twisted, roots sprawling like fingers grasping at the earth. The air shimmered with magic, an aura that both enchanted and terrified. "The lost blade must be near," Kaguya whispered, her voice trembling with anticipation and dread. Suddenly, a chilling laughter echoed around them, familiar and taunting. You think you can claim the blade, Kaguya? Such ambition had a light fall. The demon materialized from the shadows, its form shifting like smoke as it materialized before them, a grotesque parody of elegance, its eyes burning with the fires of hatred. Not again. Hikari growled, raising her sword defiantly. We will not allow you to shroud this world in despair. Is that so? That the demon sneered, raising a hand that shimmered with dark energy. You stand before your doom, little warriors. You think you reunited? How quaint. Let me shatter that illusion. With a flick of its wrist, it unleashed tendrils of darkness that lashed out, seeking to tear apart the bonds that held them together. Kaguya felt a chill run down her spine as the tendrils wrapped around her, pulling her toward the demon. No, she cried, summoning her light, but it flickered as doubt crept into her mind. Focus, Kaguya. They shouted, her hands weaving a protective spell around her. We cannot let it break us. Ig sprang forward, his daggers cutting through the shadows. I'll keep it busy, you focus on your light. He darted through the chaos, drawing the demon's attention as he taunted it. Come on, big bad, is that all you've got? With a furious growl, the demon turned its ire upon him, tendrils snapping toward Ig, but Hikari intercepted, slicing through the darkness with her radiant blade. Together we are stronger together. Kaguya drew on the memory of the trials, the laughter, the camaraderie forged in the fires of battle. You cannot divide us, she declared, feeling the light within her surge. We stand as one, and we shall not fall. The demon snarled, fury etched upon its grotesque face. Such foolish resolve, I will savor your despair. As it lunged, Kaguya unleashed the full force of her celestial energy, bright light flooding the grove, illuminating not just the demon, but also what lay beneath the ancient tree. The lost blade of ether emerged from the roots, shimmering with ethereal brilliance, beckoning her forth. Seize it, Kaguya, now! May shouted, her voice cutting through the chaos. Kaguya sprinted toward the blade, tendrils of darkness snapping at her heels. With every step, the light around her pulsed, guiding her toward her fate. She grasped the hilt, and a surge of power coursed through her, connecting her to the very essence of the cosmos. Together, she cried, raising the blade high as it gleamed in response. Let our light banish the shadows. With her allies beside her, she plunged the blade into the earth, unleashing a wave of radiant energy that surged through the grove, enveloping the demon in a blinding brilliance. The shadows writhed, shrieking in agony, as the light consumed its form. No, as the demon howled, its voice a cacophony of despair and rage. This is not the end. I shall return, and I will take everything from you. But Kaguya, her heart ablaze with the strength of her comrades, stood resolute. Your darkness cannot withstand the light of hope. We will always rise against you. The energy erupted like a supernova, illuminating the forest and banishing the demoness form into the ether, scattering the remnants of its darkness and sealing its whispers away in the void. As the light faded, the grove returned to life. The ancient tree stood tall, its leaves glimmering with renewed vigor, and the air felt lighter, almost euphoric. Kaguya felt the warmth of her allies surrounding her, the breaths heavy but victorious. Did we really win? Hikari asked breathlessly, taking in the vibrant colors that had returned. May smiled, a mixture of relief and hope. For now, but we must remain vigilant. The demon may return, but we have forged an unbreakable bond today. Ig grinned, placing a comforting hand on Kaguya's shoulder. And we'll be ready for it. Together, we are legends. Kaguya gazed at the lost blade of ether, its brilliance a reminder of their collective strength. We will continue our quest. We must uncover the truth behind this darkness and ensure that it never returns to plague our world. With a shared resolve, they stood united, champions of light in a world that still whispered of shadows. The forest breathed a sigh of relief, and the horizon shimmered with promise as they set forth, ready to face whatever trials awaited them. But in the farthest reaches of the ether, the demoness laughter echoed a haunting reminder that shadows would always linger, waiting for the perfect moment to rise once more. Asterisk, Kaguya reveals secret, but demon follows. Part 4 Asterisk. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting fiery hues across the sky, Kaguya and her companions stood at the threshold of the Grove of Whispers, hearts pulsing with the adrenaline of their victory. The air shimmered with renewed magic, the very essence of the forest alive with hope. Yet beneath this facade lay an undercurrent of dread, for Kaguya felt the shadows twitching at the edges of her mind. Stay alert, Kaguya urged, her voice slicing through the tranquility. The demoness whispers linger still. We can't afford to let our guard down. Hikari, still catching her breath, adjusted her grip on her radiant sword. We'll face whatever it throws at us, as we always have, she replied, the flame of determination igniting anew in her adder eyes. Together, we are unbreakable. Ija leaned casually against a tree, a smirk dancing on his lips. And if it tries to divide us again, let it know we've got a few tricks of our own. His cockiness masked the worry that gnawed at him, but he would not let it show. Nay, the high sorceress, our thoughts swelling with ancient prophecies, cast a glance at Kaguya. What if the lost blade of Ether is more than just a weapon? What if it holds secrets to the demon's true nature? Kaguya nodded, the weight of her quest pressing down on her. We must seek its wisdom, even if it leads us into the depths of darkness. The demon will not rest until it has its vengeance. The group stood together, hearts united against the shadows that threatened to consume them. As they stepped forward, the grove welcomed them with open arms. The vibrant foliage rustled like whispers of approval. The grand ancient tree loomed ahead, its gnarled trunk twisting skyward, branches cradling shimmering leaves that pulsed with ethereal light. The lost blade lies beneath, Kaguya said, eyes fixed upon the roots. The blade of Ether holds the power to seal away darkness, to bind it to the void. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a familiar, sinister laughter echoed through the grove, sending chills down their spines. Fools, you think you can wield the power of the ancients. You are merely pawns in a game far greater than you can comprehend. The demon materialized from the shadows, its form more grotesque than before, an amalgamation of malice and despair that twisted the very essence of the grove. Its eyes blazed like molten fire, and the air thickened with an oppressive dread. Together! Kaguya shouted, drawing upon her celestial energy, her aura flickering like a star beneath the demon's dark gaze. We will not be swayed by your illusions. Hikari ignited her sword, the blade shimmering with brilliance. Your darkness cannot withstand the light. We will face you again. Ija vanished into the shadows, a wraith among the chaos. Let us dance, my friend, he called, darting toward the demon, daggers glinting with deadly purpose. The demon unleashed a cacophony of darkness, tendrils swirling to engulf them. You think you can save this world? I will twist your bonds into despair. Kaguya summoned her light, a radiant shield surrounding her companions as they charged forward. We are not afraid of you. We are the light that banishes the darkness. The battle ignited a symphony of chaos and valor. Hikari's sword clashed against the demon's tendrils, slicing through the shadows, illuminating the grove with bursts of radiant energy. Iji danced through the chaos, his dagger seeking the demon's weak points, a playful grin on his lips concealing the tension beneath. Is that all you've got? He taunted, dodging a flurry of dark energy. I expected more from you. Silence, the demon roared, its voice a thunderous crescendo that shook the very ground. You're nothing but fleeting sparks in my endless night. May stood firm, weaving ancient magic as vines erupted from the ground, snaring the demon's tendrils and holding them fast. Bind it, let the power of the earth hold it captive. Kaguya, fueled by the strength of her allies, focused her energy, channeling it into a blinding beam of light. With the lost blade, we will seal away your darkness for eternity. Just as she prepared to strike, the demon let out a chilling laugh, twisting its form into a grotesque shape that mirrored Kaguya's essence. You think a blade can contain me? I am chaos incarnate. I will consume all. With a flick of its wrist, it unleashed a torrent of darkness that swept toward Kaguya, seeking to engulf her light. You will know despair. Nah! Hikari shouted, stepping in front of Kaguya, sword raised high. We will not let you claim what is ours. The two forces collided, darkness clashing with light in a ferocious explosion that sent shockwaves through the grove. Kaguya felt her strength wavering. The demon was feeding on their fear, its laughter echoing in her mind like a sinister chant. Remember who we are! Iji yelled, his voice breaking through the storm of doubt. We are not just warriors, we are legends, we do not fall. Kaguya drew upon that voice, fueling her spirit against the encroaching shadows. We are the guardians of light, she declared. We will stand against you. In that moment, she grasped the hilt of the lost blade of Ether, feeling its power resonate deep within her. With the strength of the ancients, I summon you, she called, raising the blade high. Iji and Hikari joined her, their voices rising in unison. We fight for honor, for our world, they declared, their combined strength illuminating the grove in a dazzling radiance. May nodded, her hands weaving intricate symbols in the air. Let the essence of the forest protect us, bind the darkness. The grove pulsed with ancient magic, the roots of the grand tree reaching toward the blade. The light swelled, and Kaguya thrust the lost blade into the earth. By the power of light, I bind you. A wave of brilliance surged forth, enveloping the demon in a maelstrom of energy. The shadows howled and writhed, the very essence of despair unraveling before their eyes. No, it screamed, its voice a cacophony of rage and agony. This is not the end, I will return. The light consumed it, erasing its form into the ether as the grove erupted in a glorious explosion of colors, vibrant and full of life. The darkness lifted, revealing a world reborn, the air filled with the sweet scent of blossoms and renewal. Kaguya, breathless and weary, lowered her blade, the power of the ancient still coursing through her. The grove shimmered, the ancient tree standing tall, its bark aglow as though it had witnessed a divine rebirth. Did we truly win? Hikari panted, her sword still raised in defiance, scanning for any signs of lingering shadows. For now, May reply, a flicker of hope igniting in her eyes. But victory is but a moment in the eternal cycle of light and dark. We must prepare for the trials yet to come. IG grinned his spirit and yielded. As long as we stand together, there's no darkness that can hold us down. Kaguya felt the warmth of the camaraderie surrounding her, a balm against the dread that still lingered in her heart. The last blade of Eth is our beacon, a reminder of our strength, but we must remain vigilant. The demon may retreat, but it will not forget. As they stood united, a gust of wind rustled the leaves, a whisper of the ancient spirits watching over them. Kaguya felt the weight of destiny upon her, an unbreakable bond forged through their trials and sacrifices. Let us move forward, she said, her voice steady. We must uncover the truth behind this darkness and ensure that it never returns to plague our world. Together, they stepped out of the grove, champions of light against a world still riddled with shadows. The horizon glowed with promise, and Kaguya's heart surged with hope. But as she glanced back, she felt an echo of darkness swirling in the air, a reminder that shadows will always linger, waiting for the perfect moment to rise once more. And far away, in the depths of the void, the demoness laughter echoed a haunting reminder that the battle for light was far from over.